I was kinda cautiously optimistic about this one since a lot of people had enjoyed it. And it did look a little bit different from your average superhero movie. It looked a little bit more lighthearted and smaller in scale too. Quaint even. It didn't look big and flashy, basically the opposite of Avengers Endgame. But at the same time, I'm always skeptical when it comes to stuff like this. Things that are marketed as being different, not just the same old. Because a lot of them turn out to be just the same old, with a fresh coat of paint. But what about this one? Is it really something fresh and new? Well, no, I wouldn't say that. It's a little bit different for sure. It's slightly more lighthearted than most Marvel movies these days, and significantly less dark than what DC's been doing in recent years. It also seems to be aimed at a younger audience actually. I got some serious kids movie vibes from this, which probably had a lot to do with the protagonist. Now, I'm not sure into how much detail I want to get here, since this is a superhero origin story and the transformation happens well into the movie. And I usually try to avoid plot stuff that happens that far into it. But then again, Peter Parker turning into Spider-Man wouldn't really constitute a spoiler either. So let's just say that the superhero is actually a 14-year-old kid called Billy Batson, with a sidekick of a similar age. So it's not exactly odd that the movie feels like it's more aimed at kids. And as far as the actual plot goes, well, again, it's an origin story. So we get to find out how the kid ends up as a superhero. He also gets to learn all about his powers, and he experiments with them and all that. We've all seen it before, nothing mind-blowing here, but that stuff was still kinda entertaining. And then of course we also have a villain, because there has to be a villain. Otherwise there wouldn't be much of a conflict going on. And if there's a villain, they need to eventually hash it out, right? As I said, nothing all that crazy or innovative going on here. It very much follows the standard formula for a superhero origin story. And yeah, it was kinda funny at times. It was kinda cute. I didn't hate it. But at the same time, it really didn't do that much for me. Beyond a few chuckles and some amusing stuff, I didn't really get much out of it. I was just sorta watching it feeling mildly entertained, but kinda indifferent. I've just seen this done so many times over the last 20 years now, ever since Spider-Man, that I need something more than this. You need to do something different to stand out and grab my attention at this point. You can't just rehash the same old formula over and over again and expect me to get excited. I mean, I really wanted to like this a lot more than I actually did. Basically the whole movie I was just waiting for it to do something to win me over. But all the best stuff was actually in the first half, in my opinion. And the last part turned into this, and I hate to say it, but kinda generic massive hero versus villain battle that's just not that interesting to me. And the only way to get me even remotely excited by a battle like that these days is if I'm actually invested in the characters, like with Avengers Endgame. But with this, I really wasn't. The main guy is just sort of a meh character. Now I do think Zachary Levi did a pretty good job in this, I didn't mind him at all. And Asher Angel wasn't bad either, but the Billy Batson character was just kinda whatever. Not quite good enough to get me invested the way it should have. And as a result, the whole thing was just kinda fine, I guess. It was watchable, I didn't outright dislike anything about it, but it really failed to surprise me and do anything extraordinary. But would I recommend it? If you like superhero movies, sure, you should probably give this a look. Otherwise, probably skip it. Or don't. I'm not your dad. But I am trying to sell out, so consider liking, subbing, hitting that bell and supporting me on Patreon. Because I really need to fund my trip to see the wizard. And hey, why not drop a comment below or check out another review? I'd appreciate it. Thanks.